June 19th, 1944. 0417 hours. Somewhere west of the Marianas, above a restless steel-blue Pacific. The first light of dawn crawls over the horizon, turning the clouds gold at their edges. Beneath them, the air is vibrating with tension, carrier decks clanging, engines coughing awake, and sailors shouting over the rising winds. But high above all that noise, alone and silent in a thin, pre-dawn layer of cloud, a single silhouette glides forward. A TBF Avenger. Bulky, slow, box-shaped like a flying tractor. And for a moment, you can almost hear the echo of the laughter that once mocked it. 2 years earlier, during the early raids of 1942, Japanese Zero pilots had torn through the flimsy American torpedo planes like hawks through sparrows. They mocked the early Avengers, calling them Hikoki no Kame, the flying turtles, too big, too slow, too predictable. But today, June 19th, those same pilots are gone, lost to attrition, replaced by green recruits, replaced by fear. And the Avenger? It's still here. Stronger, smarter, deadlier. Lieutenant Jack Taylor sits in the cockpit of Avenger 312, fingers tapping anxiously on the throttle. The engine hums beneath him, steady as a heartbeat. Oil temperature green, manifold pressure perfect. Radar operator Ensign Collins calls out bearings quietly behind him, voice steady but tight. Contact. Bearing 210. Multiple returns. Looks like a carrier group skipper. Taylor exhales slowly. The air is cold up here, sharp enough to sting the back of his throat. Then this is it, he murmurs. The strike they won't see coming. Below them, hundreds of miles away, Japanese Vice Admiral Jisaburo Ozawa is moving his fleet forward, confident his pilots still hold the skies, still believing the old mockery about American torpedo planes being slow, blind, clumsy. He has no idea the Avengers are already hunting him. Hours earlier, on the deck of USS Hornet, those same Avengers had sat in silence as the briefing officer paced before them. Charts, reconnaissance photos, fuel calculations. The pilots listened, some chewing gum out of habit, others clenching their fists to steady shaking nerves. Gentlemen, this is the battle that decides the Marianas, the officer said. The Japanese are bringing everything they have left. But today we meet them with radar, range, and discipline. You're flying the longest strike of the war. Some pilots exchanged glances. A few swallowed hard. Your Avengers are carrying torpedoes, heavy loads. You'll be slow, and you won't have fighter cover the entire time. But remember, they don't know you're coming. A pause, a grim smile. And when you find them, you hit them so hard they can't get back up. Taylor remembers that line now, feels it echoing inside him. And somewhere east of his formation, another flight of Avengers slices into the rising sun, engines in perfect harmony. The Pacific glitters beneath them like shattered glass. Behind him, Collins taps the radar screen. They're running, Jack, changing course, trying to slip north. Taylor grins. Let 'em run. We're faster than they think. Faster. That word would have made early War Zero pilots howl with laughter, but not today. Because today, the Avengers aren't flying blind into a hornet's nest. They're hunting with radar, guided by signals the Japanese can't detect, using fuel loads calculated down to the last drop. The torpedo bombers Japan once mocked have become the fleet's long-range weapon. Slow, but unstoppable. Taylor pushes the nose down, slipping beneath a cloud bank. Moisture streaks across the canopy. The Avenger shudders, big wings flexing, engine growling as it picks up speed. Then, sunlight, and ahead of them dark shapes begin to emerge through the haze. Carriers. 3 of them, no, 4. Carrier decks busy with frantic movement, planes being pushed into position, sailors scrambling, smoke trailing from funnels. The Japanese fleet is already running full throttle, desperately trying to outrun something they still haven't seen. Collins leans forward, voice trembling now. "Jack, they have no idea we're here." Taylor peers down at the carriers, calm settling over him like a weight. They will. He flips the arming switches. The torpedo clamps release with a metallic thud. The Avenger drops to attack altitude, slow, steady, and deliberate. Far below, on the deck of Shokaku, a young Japanese pilot turns his head upward. He squints, confused. The silhouette above him is wrong. Too big to be a fighter. Too slow to be a bomber. A torpedo plane? No, impossible. Their scouts reported no American torpedo bombers within range. And yet, the young pilot's eyes widen. More shadows appear behind the first. Then more. And more. Dozens. The same aircraft his instructors once called laughable. The same machine they trained him to ignore. But they're not laughing now. Because the Avengers are descending. Because the radar they mocked has led them right here. Because the strike he thought impossible is already on top of them. And in the next 60 seconds, the Battle of the Philippine Sea will flip from confidence to panic, from arrogance to fear, from mockery to disaster. Taylor shoves the throttle forward. Time to show them what the flying turtle can do. The sea rushes up towards him. The carrier decks grow larger. Japanese anti-aircraft guns begin to spin. And then, the first shell explodes beside his wing. June 19th, 1944. 122 miles west of Saipan. 0600 hours. Dawn breaks in a pale, metallic shimmer across the Philippine Sea. The light bleeding over calm water that hides the most powerful carrier forces the world has ever assembled. On USS Bunker Hill, torpedo crews stand in tight clusters, waiting for the curt, clipped voice of the air officer to thunder across the deck. Someone asks quietly, "What's biting the Japanese today?" Another replies, "Everything we have." But the truth is harsher. The Japanese are coming straight for them. Radar has already picked up 4 incoming waves, more than 350 enemy aircraft. And while Hellcats are climbing to meet them, Admiral Mark Mitcher knows the fight won't end with defensive interception. The Japanese carriers are out there, moving, weaving, hiding behind distance and timing. Which means only one thing: someone has to go hunt them. And for that, the Navy turns to the airplane the Japanese once mocked, the TBF Avenger. The call finally comes. Strike group, stand by. Engines roar instantly. The deck vibrates like a living beast as pilots settle into their cockpits. This strike is different. No precise coordinates, no visual sighting, only radar bearings, radio triangulation, and a thin hope that their target hasn't vanished into the endless blue. It's a long-range gamble, and the Avengers are the only aircraft in the fleet that can make it. Crewmen snap final latches shut. The wings unfold with a heavy mechanical groan, almost defiant in their size. In the cockpits, pilots look ahead at the runway stretching over a churning sea. You can almost feel their heartbeat as the signal officer lifts his hand. Then, go! One by one, the Avengers thunder forward. Their takeoff runs longer than any fighters, their bodies lumbering and stubborn against the wind. Japanese pilots used to laugh at this moment. The slow acceleration, the wide belly, the clumsy lift. But today, speed isn't the weapon. Endurance is. By noon, the Avengers are a dark formation against the glare, their engines droning a slow, relentless heartbeat. Below them, The ocean is so still it looks like polished armor. But somewhere ahead, hidden beyond that shimmering horizon, is the escape route of the Imperial Japanese Navy. Radioman Harold Jensen presses headphones tighter against the sweat on his temples. Picking up chatter. Bearing 282. Looks like their cap is moving. Then we're close. Too damn close. Minutes stretch. Fuel calculations whisper warnings. The crews know the ugly truth. If the Japanese carriers are farther than expected, they won't have enough gas to get home. But no one turns back. Then, shadow on the water. Then another. Then, wake trails. Long, sharp, unmistakable. A carrier group. The radioman blinks twice to be sure. Sir, I've got visual movement at 11 o'clock. The cockpit goes silent. The Avenger banks slowly, exposing the sunlit glint of metal far below. And there it is. The Japanese carrier force. Zuikaku, Junyo, Hyo. Running at full speed. Running from them. The Avengers begin their descent. A slow, steady dive toward the enemy formation. The Japanese ships scramble instantly, sirens wail, flight decks erupt with activity, fighters leap skyward in a frantic attempt to intercept. But by now, the Great Marianas turkey shoot has shredded Japan's best pilots. The fighters that rise are inexperienced, undertrained, terrified, and facing an aircraft far tougher than they ever expected. Tracer fire streaks upward in bright orange arcs. The Avengers don't flinch. Their fuselages absorb punishment that would tear a Zero in half. Their crews operate with cold precision, altimeter steady, eyes sharp, hearts pounding in perfect rhythm with the growling engine. At 1,200 feet, the helm shifts. Steady. Steady. Hold her. The ocean rushes upward. The Japanese carriers twist violently in evasive turns, their wakes carving wide, white scars across the water. Gunners aboard the ships fire everything they have, filling the sky with black bursts of flak. You can almost taste the cordite in the air. Then comes the moment the Japanese never imagined. The slow, clumsy Avenger lines up a perfect torpedo run. The release happens in a single, decisive breath.